I guess now you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, okay, sounds great. Okay, so do we?
So we are live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to continuum pagination and sorting filtering. So I will explain a small example about filtering, pagination, and sorting in Node.js and Express.js. Uh, I will retrieve data from array that we will build here, and no database is used in this project. It's just explaining the pretty basic of pagination and sorting and filtering. So first of all, why we would use pagination and why we would use filtering and sorting. So it's pretty simple that the reason why we use pagination. For example, if we want to go to a website that maybe you guys spend time on, and we're looking for fans, for example, um, we never get all results of fans that Amazon have. We only get around 80 fan, and we can Amazon split the result for us in pages, and we can um, go between pages and explore more fans. So Amazon is following pagination for their website, and also is following search, where you can search for specific thing, and also sorting. You can have all these option of sorting: price high to low, low to high, and the average as customer review. So why they are doing this? So the reason for filtering is just to get the data that you want. Most probably, we will build um, a small application explaining how can we filter in Node.js and Express. And for sorting, if you want to sort your data based on the it could be based on the dates. It could be based on the reviews. If you want to sort the best to the worst review, and for pagination, there's the for pagination it's more bigger than this, because in pagination we need pagination because we can't display 100 results in the user screen. So once we display more than 100 results, the end user may suffer from uh, performance issue um, while he exploring your website, or just uh, getting the data hitting the API that you just exposed. So the only reason for pagination is just to keep our website performance high, and make the user have the best experience while he's exploring um, the website we have built. So to start with beginning of coding example, I built like very small and basic Express app. We only require Express, then we create app, then we expose this route, which is data, and we listen on 3000. So if I want to run my application, you can see the port is running. Then we can go here and we can refresh and we get hello world, same as we're writing here. So we have like a small basic Node.js Express application that we will do pagination and filtering sorting on it. So to keep it very simple, let's start by adding uh small data. Let's say that we want to add um a username, an ID, an age, and a country. That's all we want. So we want to go constant data, and we want to have an array. Then we'll have
Hello, Sahid. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Shadi, sorry. Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Please, can you zoom in? We can't see if you can zoom in. It's really very tiny.
Is this better?
Just a bit.
More or this is good?
But I think this is good. This is good.
Okay, sounds cool. Thank you for telling me. So, let's continue building our uh, small data so we can play with. So we would say ID is one, name is
Oh,
on.
Shahid, sorry, I have to disturb you again.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fine.
so from the comments I can see here, it's really very small. So if you can increase it one more time.
Okay, one more
Thank
time.
you.
How about now? Is it
Okay,
good?
I think this is better. Yeah, it's still tiny, but
Still tiny? Oh my God. Is
yes.
it like
Yeah, it's perfect.
perfect? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Nomaka. Now we will continue in here. Um, we said we want age. For example, this guy is 18, and we want country, which is, let's say, USA for this one. Then we put comma. That's how we build our JSON object. Then we duplicate them. Then after duplicating, we can start making um, giving our data different values so we can know when we do filtering or something that it's working or not. Get a chance to feel to make it feel like real data. Uh, Now let's put some random name here. Let's say Jane, Smith, maybe Bob, maybe Chris, Josh, Emily, Alice. Okay, I'll just give him some number, some different age. Okay, so this guy from US, this guy from France, and let's say this guy from Morocco. So we have our data now ready. So let's say, for example, we want to return all this data once we hit that data route we just exposed. So now we can go and clear this and build this app. It's running in port 3000, and we can see it is, oh, we have to return it. So once we have the data here, we have to return it here. So let's do this. I think we will install Node 1. It will be much faster. Okay, so now we get all the data without filtering, without pagination, without any kind of sorting. We just get what we inserted. And here it's fine because we only have 9 of these guys. But once your data is getting much bigger and start having um, really big amount of data, you could reach million uh, user row. You could have more, at least a million. So you cannot bring them all on the screen once because it's gonna take time and the performance of your application will be very low. So this will help us improve performance. So okay, let's start. Let's start applying. Maybe start by doing pagination to the data. So in order to do pagination, let's go back to Amazon example. So let's see Amazon, what will they put in this link. So we will go and we'll search for a fan. Now, the way we adjust our pagination, how many pages and what's the limit, we can use it by query string if we wanted to make it dynamically assigned by user. But if we want to make it fixed, we can do it from backend as constant values. But we can do, when we press page 2, it takes us to the second page, and you can see it's actually in Amazon. It's a specified page 2 because you pressed on, because I pressed on page number 2. So once I do 7 or 3, the page changes to 3. So we get the value of what page we want to be, or we communicate with our backend through query string, which is um, data pass with the link, and we can read it in Node.js as a query string. So we can start by specifying a page. So it's going to be constant page %, because we want this to be integer, and we want the page to be a number. And we can say request dot query dot page, or 1. Let's leave it without the or for now. So now we are saying that we have constant page, and we get the query string of page, which is will be passed through the link in our example just now, and convert that to integer because we need to be a number, and store it in page. So just to make sure we are getting the page number like we want to, why can't we log page and say page from request query page? Let's see what we get. Okay, so let's remove, yes, some of this. So now, if we want the data without any page, we can do this. Now, once we want the page, we have to specify question mark. Then after the question mark, you start specifying your query strings and putting % between them. So if you have two, you have to if you have to specify like page and limit, you put ampersand and you just specify each value, each key with its value. It takes key value pairs. So for now, we only want it to be a page 2. So let's see what we get. So let's see what we get here. Okay, we got 2 page from request query page. So this guy, it's called here page, and we call it here page. Those are connected because we're getting it from query string. Um, yeah. So now let's try not passing page. Let's see what we get. Oh, just not a number. So let's imagine the user are not specifying page. We want to give him default page, right? We don't want to leave all our applications not a number. So what we can do is we say or one. So that means if we have a query string that specify page as key and give a value, we will put it here. If we don't, if this is undefined, we give it one. So that's the default value one. So if we go back here now and save this and run it again and run this link again and come here, it has one. So this is the default value of page when we don't specify in the link, when we don't write a query string that has page as a key and we give it value. So like this. Now we will go back and giving as normal. Page 2. Okay, so we got the page number, so that's fine. What we have to do next? So next, we're gonna do the same, but for limit, which we will talk about in a bit. And instead of page, we want limit. And the limit here, we can make it 5. And we want, last thing we want is offset. So we will also talk about what is offset. And offset is actually page in our case, page minus 1 multiplied by limit. So what do we mean about limit and offset? So page, we know what does page mean. We get the chance to go through pages like we have in Amazon right here. Limit is actually the number of items that you want to include in your page. For example, I didn't specify any limit till now, and I'm getting 6 items, the whole 6 items. Let's say I don't have 6. Now I have around 36. I will get all 36 values. So I have now all the 36 values. So the page now are pointless. Uh, what we gonna use page for if we're gonna display all the values that we have every time we search? So that's why we specify limit. Limit limit specify how many objects we want to display in one page. So in this example, let's keep it 5. And offset is just how many it will skip. So let's say, for example, we are on page 4. We are on page 4. Yeah. So if we are on page 4, that means we have to skip 15. We have to skip 15 items, right? So how can we get those 15 items? So once we are on page 4, you just put the number of pages. Let's say if we put here 4, 4 minus 1, 3, multiplied by limit 5 equals 15. So this is how we specify how many objects we want to skip. Then only display the object that we want to display. Okay, so let's get back this as page. Okay, and Let's put these comments here. So now once we done page, limit, offset, we need to do the pagination. So to do pagination, we want to have um, we want to have total pages. We have to calculate them and total count and current page. What page are we in? So we can we can calculate what items we will display. So let me turn off the application. I don't need this anymore. And just for the sake of time, I'm gonna copy paste the yeah. Just gonna copy paste the code that I want to write. Mhm. Let me just get this code out. Okay, so let's continue. And I get these 4 lines. So what does these 4 lines do? We have total count, which is only to count how many objects we have or we will display, and we will need this. Uh, Total pages, how many pages do we have based on how many values we have? Let's say we have limits of 5 and we have around 9 objects. So that's total pages of 2. And let's say we want current page. So which page are we in and what to decide what object we will display, and paginated data. So that paginated data is just a temporary object to store the current page items. So we store the current page items on it and we return it. And let's make this more cool. So let's return data and return paginated data here. And then add this and return count as is. And we need total pages. And we need current page. So now, um, let's see what will this get us. It will work or it will be an error. Let's see what we get. Now let's refresh. Okay, filtered data is not defined. Okay, so I'm been getting this error. So for this error, we only have to require this library, which most probably you will not have to when you work with this data, when you work with databases. But this is because an object and it gets called before it gets initialized. Uh, we have to do it, and I only have to clone deep. Yeah, so this will make sure that my object gets initialized before it gets called. Now let's see what will happen. This should work fine now. Fresh, yes. So now we are getting the data we just specified here. Data is paginated data. And the paginated data that we get right now is ID 6, name Josh, year, ID 7, ID 8, ID 9. Why we are getting from 6 to 9 instead of 1 to 5? Because we specified page 2. So what happens now is we have already specified the page's default is 1, but we are giving it 2 right now, and we have the limits. We can also re-specify this, but the default is 5. And we also have the offset, the amount of we will skip. Let's say 2 minus 1 is 1 multiplied by limit. This will be 5. So it will skip the first 5 values, which are these. And this you can forget about. Don't mind it. Um, and the total count, that is 9. That give us the total count of the array, the data we have. The total pages is 2. The total pages of because in each page we have 5 objects, so 9 items can go into 2 pages. And the current page, we are currently in a page 2. So that's why we are getting from ID 6 to ID 9. Let's try give it 1. Okay, we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the rest the same, total count 9. What about if we give it 3? We don't have enough data to get the page 3. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we got an empty array. So we can pass here. We can add more to it. Maybe say if paginated data. Yep. I'm sorry. I hope you can hear me. Yep. Um, Let me double check. Sorry, no, Maka, can you hear me?
Oh yes, we can. We can
Okay.
hear you.
Oh, I can see a lot of comments here. A lot of students have joined. Okay, yeah, it's too small. I didn't see that comment section before. Okay, feel free to ask me any question in the comment section so I can answer you. So let's continue here. We can add if page data length is less than 1, we can make return uh, out of range. And else, we can return the paginated data. So now we should get out of range when we search page that has no data. Okay, refresh, out of range. Okay, that sounds more clear for the end user, I guess. If you were using the application, you will like it more. Okay, so let's get back. So that's pagination is only avoiding pagination is only avoiding displaying all your items at once, because most probably you're gonna work on a big projects, and those projects will not have only thousand or million, but they could be have even billions of rows for each table, so you cannot view all of them. It's gonna take a lot of time and a lot of processing to get those values on the screen. So pagination will make the end user life easier and make it don't make him suffer while he um, exploring the web application that we're building. Okay, so now let's move into sorting and filtering. Oh, let's specify a limit. We said here limit 5, but we didn't specify. So let's give it page 2. So we get from 6 to 9. And also we can put ampersand and we put limits. And let's say the limit was 5. Let's make the limit 3. And we hit enter. Okay, so now we are getting 4 and 5 and 6. So we play on the limits. So limits how many objects you want to show in a single page. So that's the limits. Uh, we are building. It might be different when you go to when you want to call like Express backend API when you use them. It will have different meaning. Limit is actually only displaying like number of values, but this is how it works here. Okay, now I guess we can go to sorting. Sorting is pretty easy. Um, um, it's only we're gonna sort, for example, let's sort by name. We have Bob, so we should get Bob first, and then we should get maybe Chris, Alice, Bob, Chris. That what we should get. Okay, so now uh, let's do the sorting. So we want to say if if request dot query to get the query string dot sort. So if we have it, so that does mean it's not undefined. So if we have value on request query sort, we want you to do the following. We want to have constant sort by, and this will be request query sort split. So, or before split, let's let's think how we will do it. So the user will will specify if he which field he want to sort. So for example, um let's say he will specify like this. So he will write ampersand and then he will say sort and then equal, he specify the field. Let's say we want to sort by age. We put age and we have two choices. We have either descending or ascending. So we need to specify by splitting in these double dots that I don't know really what's the name in English, but yeah, and we get the chance to specify if we want it from smaller to bigger or the opposite from bigger to smaller. So let's do the bigger to smaller, the descending one. And this is how we want to pass it. Age, specify the key of uh, the key on the left side, then splitting by this, then specifying if you want it uh, from smaller to bigger or the opposite. So we start by getting the request query sort. Then we say dot split. Split is a function that can be found in JavaScript, Java, all the languages, Python, C Sharp. So it's actually split your string based on characters. So if you give it like this, it will split your string based on the white spaces. But in our case, we want to split by um, this character. So we did the split. So after doing the split, we now have two objects. We have the first one, we have array of two strings. The first one will be the age, and the second one will be the descending. We can print this just to prove that what we get. So sort by 0, sort by 1. And this is a nice trick I usually do. can actually edit two fields. Oh, I can see and edit two fields at once, two rows at once. So yeah, let's turn this off. Terminal. Feel free to ask me questions. Please, your browser is still too small. Oh, it's still too small. I'm sorry. Oh wow, it's still too small. I wonder how can I make it bigger. Oh,
I
let me
think your
try.
browser, no, your VS Code is good. Your browser is too small.
My browser.
The
I
fonts. Can you hear me? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We could see your VS Code. The fonts are good. So when you switch over to your browser,
Oh, okay, okay. My bad. Yeah, this is way
yeah.
better. Okay, okay. Thank you so much for helping me. Okay, is it now good, Oko-san? Let me know. Uh, okay, now I'm making it bigger, so it should be very fine
Yeah,
now.
I think this is better. Yeah, this is
Okay,
good.
okay,
Yeah, good to go.
okay. Thank you. So, oh, we only have 15 minutes left. So, let's see what we get in here. So to run uh, Node.js app, we just say Node and we specify the JavaScript file, but we also can install NodeMon and download NodeMon library and run it through NodeMon, but we will use this. So now we will specify age and descending and we hit refresh. Let's see what we get back. Oh, we got nothing. Okay. So let's clear and we have sort. We have, oh, okay. We got nothing because we didn't specify. Let's say sort age. Okay. Okay. So now we got age, which is um sort by the index 0, and we got descending sort by index 1. So that means the value we are just giving here age and descending, we specify what we want, the key which is sort here, and we specify the value age and we split it and we can. So now we have what column we will sort, and we want to do it descending or sending. So we're good to go from here. So let me copy and paste the rest of two line, three line, just because we are little short on time. What is this? Okay. So we get sort key from sort by 0. Okay, so which is age. This will be age in our case. Easy. And sort order. So in case it was ascending, make it positive. But if it was not, make it negative. And we will know why in a moment. And we just say then we use this library to sort. You can do it without really using this library for sorting. You can do it with using JavaScript functions. Uh, uh, but we will use this. So this will help us. This we will give sort key and we give the filter data and sort order. It takes uh, one or a negative one. It takes number and return the filter data. So let's test this real quick and see how it's working. Close this, clear, run the app, go back here and refresh. Okay, we by age. Okay, we are not getting it. What's wrong? Filter data, clone app. Okay, because we are filtering data here and here. So we have to put this a little bit up, keep it away from our sorting so it don't disturb our sorting. Now let's go back on the application again. fresh. Okay. So now we are getting data sorted by age. 32, 33. Let's sort by name. And we make it sending. Okay, so we get Lee, Smith, and Bob. Wow, I thought we will get. Okay, let's do page one. Oh, because we are doing page two. We get allies. Hmm, interesting. Get allies Emily and Jane. And we should get allies Bob. Let's see the data that we have. Allies and Bob and Emily. So we can log, we always can log the filtered data to check what is really happening. Okay, so now let's save. Fresh, go back to VS Code. Now you can see after sending Emily Jane Smith. Oh wow. Is it because, oh, I guess it's filtering also if we have B capital. I guess this will fix the issue. Should not act like this. Oh yeah, it's this library. I think it has a bug in that function, which is order. Um, Doing this in JavaScript plain, JavaScript function is way easier and way more clear. But for this tutorial, we're just gonna stick with what we have. Okay, so now we should get allies Bob and Chris. So it's sorting um, fine by name. So last thing we want to do after we done pagination uh, and we have done sorting, the last thing that we really want to do is filtering. So let me copy and paste also what I have here so this can save time. Filtering. Okay, so in filtering, we want to check if the query parameter filter, and based on the query parameter filter, this is what we will pass. So this will be the full link specified here. Page two, limit two, filter country, USA. So this is how we give filter. Then there's a country. Then there is the um, this character. And there is USA. Uh-huh. Uh, yeah, you can ask your questions and I can answer. So same same as sorting, but now we are specifying uh, the key of the column that we want to filter with the value of that column. So let's see how our code will work. It will take the filter from query string and it will take filter by and split it just as we did uh, with a order. Then it will take the filter key, which is the first one USA here, and it will take the filter value, the filter key, which is country, and the filter value, which is USA. And then it will filter the data and pass this to lambda function and or ES6 JavaScript function. That's ES6 syntax. Um, and it will get the filtered data to us and we will pass here paginated data, filtered data slice. So let's see if this is working or we have to do something. Let's app, let's run this. Let's go back here. We want to filter country, which is USA, and sort by age. Okay. Okay, so what we get country USA, we get country USA sorted by age, and we get limit 2. If we put the limit 5 out of range, page 1. Okay, so now we get USA, 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 18, 22, 23. So this is this is filtering and sorting a pagination. Let's see if one of you having question regarding what we did have here. So Zedek is asking if the user does not specify the page, then it takes the default value of 1. That's right. By the condition, this uh, this implies that the offset will be equal to 0. Does this implies from 0 to 5 item displaying 6? Does this not imply displaying 6 item that from item 0 to item 5? Okay, so once we have page 1, let's say we have here the user didn't specify, so we have 1. So let's see, and the limit is 5. So let's see the offset. So if we have 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, multiplied by 5 is 0. So we don't skip any object. So if offset is just how many objects we want to skip. So for example, we were in page 1 and we have limit of 5, and page 1 it will display 5 objects, but once I go to page 2, it will skip those 5 objects because we are not on page 1 anymore, and it will display the second fourth object. So yeah, if the user didn't specify, you are right, it will be 0, and this way it will not skip any object. It will display the first from 0 to 5. Yes, you're right. What are the functionalities of the Laddish library? Will the library be resourceful if we are getting the data from database? No, no. This is not this is because the example I had um, using this library, but no, you don't actually need. I have never used this. Uh, what do you call it? Module npm package. I have never used it in working with Node.js. Always when working with Node.js in the market, same as uh, the morning class, you took Mongoose and Express Node.js. So usually you will use the packages for Mongoose or MySQL depends on the database you are using. So if you are using NoSQL database, which is MongoDB, or you can use Cassandra, you will most probably use the package that's related to that database. But this uh, uh, d- not important. This is not important at all. It's actually not even accurate. You saw we have bug. If I saw that it has that bug, I won't use it. Yeah, so this is not important at all. Um, it just helped us to clone uh, because we want our object to stay to initialize before we call it. But once we are using with once we are retrieving data from database, we don't need to use these, and the code will be split into um, like routes file, not app.js, and have everything like will be one for server and one for routes and one for controller. Form dynamic link not found. Mhm. Oh, thank you, Zedek. Yeah, thank you guys for your question. I'm really happy that you're here, guys. Yeah. So if you have any more question, we still have 3 minutes, and we can probably do more if you have any question. And feel free to ask me any question. You can reach to me on my LinkedIn, and my email and phone number, I guess, is there. So feel free to ask me any question not only about Node.js front end. Please, sir, is sorting not supposed to have on route? Yes, sorting should have on route and on controller and should be more organized. But for the sake of simplicity, we want to make the code like you can see the code here and there. Just to make the example more simple, I did it all in one route and specify query string. But yes, sir, once once you work in the industry, um, this code you will you will write code like this, but you will keep splitting separation of queries and you will keep applying the software engineering principles. Um, so yeah, it should be you are right, Zedek. And who also said this? Uh, yeah, there's a guy who said it should be have single route. Yes, that's true. So as I was saying, you can ask me any question on LinkedIn. I'm usually available uh, uh, every day on LinkedIn. Yeah, thank you, Zedek. Is it the same process to connect using to relation? Oh, a relational database? No, it's a little bit different. It's slightly different, not that much. The only difference that you will have to, you will have to so depends on which database. If you are, let's say, for example, if you are using MongoDB, which is NoSQL, you will use MongoDB driver package npm. Um, so, but if you are using MySQL, for example, MySQL, or you are using PostgreSQL, then you need to use Sequelizer. Sequelizer is Sequelizer. I hope I write it right. Sequelizer is uh, node package that has a lot of functionalities to deal with most of relational databases. How can a front end guy supply these queries parameter to the endpoints? Oh, nice question. Okay, okay, I see where you're going. That's pretty far, but it's really good question. So, front end guy can supply this query parameter to endpoints by clicks. When the user clicks in the button, you will have, let's say, example for Amazon. Let's take that example, Amazon. So let's say when a user click this button, look into the link on the left side. It show you. Oh, maybe my screen is small, so I'm gonna get it big. So if you can see this link on the left bottom side, so it shows that page 2, if you can read, now it's changed to page 4. Now it's changed to page 5. And we always can it's changed to page 5. So the user clicks, you have events on user clicks, and once user click on some number, you assign that to a number of page, and it can user can also decide how many he want to see items. Amazon don't have it, but eBay do have it, I guess. How many items you want to see in a single page. Yes, that's the right syntax for sequelizer. Thank you, um, Ehirim. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm saying your name wrong. Um, Ehirim. Yeah. So that's how we write sequelizer. Um, why do most Node.js engineers prefer MongoDB? Well, it's not most Node.js. It's to be honest, to be more accurate, it's like what's the project you're working for? What's the project you're doing? So if that was a very fast-paced project and not big database and project for the family business, if you know what I mean, a small business. Um, it could be also big, but Node.js is known for its lightweight and fast development, and NoSQL databases makes it more lightweight and more faster. So that's why people into um, uh, what do you call it? The NoSQL databases these days. But still, SQL databases are widely used till now. Oh, please zoom in. I guess I cannot zoom in um, because only the bottom left link. Open any website and just hover over any button in any website. It will show uh, uh, the what link it will this button will generate. So yeah, I'm unfortunately I can't zoom in. I'm sorry, Okosan, for this one. Erim, I want to use the Amazon site as a case study. Okay. What if I have different categories on a page? How do I filter each row? Keeps um, settings. Let me just fix my audio. Yeah. Okay, now it's working. So, okay, Harim is asking nice question. I want to use the Amazon site as a case study. Yes, use Amazon and other websites you prefer. What if I have different categories on a page? How do I filter each row of categories by number of products? Okay, so you have different category on a page and you want to filter each row of categories by number of products. Can you explain more? Like, can you give me example? Um, what do you what do you exactly want to filter, Ihrim? But if I understand you right, you want to like, let's say you have categories for your products and you want to filter categories only. For example, let's say categories as used, new, or open box, or as you can see in my screen, there's categories here. Yeah. So fan speed of numbers. You have first speed, second speed, third speed, fourth speed, fifth speed. So if I'm understanding right, so we did it. It's easy. You just specify. Uh, you just specify filter. Then you specify the field name, which is the key, and the value you want it. So, for example, if you want speed fan number of speed, if you want it one speed, it will be it will be like this. But Amazon do not do it this way. Let's see how Amazon do it. Let's click on one speed. Okay. So if we will go to link, that's going to be a little complicated. We don't want to go that much, but let's see if they have it here. Oh, the link is so big, but it should be something like this, like country USA, um, and you're gonna say filter again, and in your code you can do this. You can say uh, fans, and you can specify, for example, 6 fans, or yeah. So that's how can you do it. Uh, say I display a page. I have computer on a row and printer on another row. How do I limit the number of each product on each row? Oh, okay, okay. Now I get it. Yeah. So, okay. So now, if you, wow, you guys are going so far. That's nice. I like it. Um, you can do it by, let me think of it. Yeah. you can expose two APIs. Like if someone I was working with asked me this question, you seems like you guys know, you have good knowledge, so you expose two APIs, and uh, you just call one and get the data and display that data. You display each one in a single row. So we are displaying in a full row like this for now. But once you start applying this on Vue.js in the front end, you will see that you can actually take the same of this and apply it um, uh, more than one place and split it and play around with it. So you can actually specify what items you want to display for each row from the front end. But for sure, you need the back end to have exposed API for it. Yeah, that was also a nice question. This is a little of filtering, I would say. It's filtering, but it require uh, more from the front end. So the front end will be involved on this. Yep. So you guys can also ask any question. You can message me anytime if you got stuck on anything you were learning. If you need someone explaining something for you, I'll be happy to do it. If you need advices on how to get in the market. So yeah.
Akim, you can go. Hello, Shady. You can go on.
Okay, I finished if the students have nothing to ask. So yeah,
All right. So thank you, Shady, for coming on this call once again. We really appreciate your time, and of course, I trust we learned something new because we have a lot of questions and you answered everything. So thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you, Nomaka. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for the students who are asking really good questions.
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah,
So, guys, I dropped Shady's LinkedIn link in the chat, so you can go ahead and follow him on LinkedIn. He already said he's always available on LinkedIn and he'll be there to answer your questions, so you can connect with him.
yeah,
All right. So, thank you once again. I think so that will be all for
yeah.
today, guys. Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Shady.
you. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.